Day. Yay. What a beautiful day. Wow, it is very sunny on your face. Ah. So today we are talking about, let me make sure that I have the correct thing. I believe it's your own value. Yes. Recognizing your own worth. There we go.
Hey,
Just want to make sure. Perfect. But before we start anything, maybe scan all of you. All right, let's walk up to the creator of all that is. Everybody gather the energy from the bottoms of your feet. Go through your space and see yourself in a beautiful ball of light. Be any color. Take it up to the sky and the universe. A series of white lights, dark lights, and golden light, all the way up through that jelly-like substance and into that tingly white light. We let all that unconditional love fill every cell of your body. While you're there, say, Creator, thank you for my life. Take a deep breath in and open your eyes. Did you catch that? What the subject is?
I got you.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Wasn't sure if you were hearing it or not. Okay, me on?
We're rolling. So funny thing, really cool thing. When you recognize your own worth, you also recognize kind of the value of everything around, right?
And
And
every person.
there's a difference between having the definition of what you think is the most valuable thing and knowing your value, right? And that means that you know how to hold your energy, maintain your energy, you know how to increase the vibration of something. And if you're in this industry or any other industry and you're in charge of connecting and kind of taking care of a whole bunch of stuff, you're actually creating real value for everything that you do. What I mean by that is you have to create a specific vibration that you can justify and feel comfortable with and then exchange with somebody else. So what I mean by real value isn't the money, it's by you actually having to define it. You have to say, this is a real value.
Well, yeah, it's like the energy that you bring into the room, into the space, because people can feel it. They know exactly whether or not you feel value in yourself or don't. Whether you're scrambling, it's a thing about you. It's almost like your signature. You've probably heard that before. It's something that you leave. People recognize it. They feel a certain way when they're around it.
So right now in the United States, there is a booming sport industry, and it's actually women's basketball.
Which
Okay.
is so awesome.
It's amazing. And women's basketball is booming because of one person. Her name is Caitlin Clark.
She's amazing.
She is, for some reason, perfectly connected with the audience.
Yeah.
Okay. She's not even the best player, but she is the most valuable person to their entire league and has already taken their whole industry from a few $100 million a year that they were all struggling to get salaries to this big time we're playing on almost the same level as the men and we deserve better salaries moment because she brought attention.
And value. She understood her own value and she knew how to connect with people.
And the thing is that she's not actually like a great interviewer. She's not like this personality that's all over Instagram. What she is just somehow connecting to all these younger
Mhm.
generations in attitude, in skill level, and the way that she's moving forward in her life.
And she's totally authentic. And the way that she talks, you can feel it. You can see it. She just kind of brings her own energy to it. And again, like you said, it's not like she can speak really eloquently. She just is herself. It's quite awesome.
In fact, in pretty much every industry, the people who've transformed and taken them to a new level where the industry gets more recognized, what they have is knowing their worth.
Hmm.
They know it in every value, right? They know what's going on. And what it causes, and the reason I use the basketball reference is it causes great things. All of a sudden, the industry gets bigger and everybody benefits. There's more attention in women's athletics in general now.
And women in
Women's
general.
basketball
Yeah.
was on the downslide in terms of participation, and now it's on the upslide. And all of a sudden, people want to do different things. It's phenomenal. It's got great impact. The downside, a whole bunch of people are not doing it because they're finding what they love. They're doing it because they want what someone else has. So the reason we bring it up that way is worth is not something you get from taking it from someone else.
Right. And it's also not where you're giving somebody the pen and saying, here, you write my story for me. I'm just going to do whatever it is that you say, and I'd love to do it. No, it's taking that back and really being able to have your own authorship and write your own story the way that you feel that it's supposed to be with you, that connection, that understanding, that feeling, that value, recognizing everything that you're worth, not the people pleasing, not the things that you're just giving away constantly. It's really recognizing what it is that you bring individually.
From the very beginning of different young athletes to different individuals in business to different individuals in theta healing, anywhere that we're teaching, fundamentally, we try to let you guys know that in our journey, the most important lesson that we learned about finding our worth was knowing that we're ourselves in every moment. Like we can be us. That's who we get to be.
Yeah.
So you can find out every tool that you have in that moment, and you can see which strengths you have and which things you want to do and how you want to improve, or you can try to be like somebody else.
I mean, really, we're our best cheerleaders. We, as our own individuals, we know ourselves best. So being able to really recognize all the things that we bring, our talents, everything that we can show of value, that we know ourselves. It's ourselves that we are bringing forward. That's the best part. And yes, as Josh said, we could give it away. Oh,
We lost our translator for a second.
1 second.
We do the pause.
Thank you, translators. You are also amazing. We very much appreciate you. She'll be back in just a second.
We think everybody back. We're still holding for a second.
Yep.
Okay.
This is where we get to subliminally talk to each other. See?
Right. Hey, look. So Selene, she has sunlight in her background too.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah, we get a little extra time to roll through the camera feed.
It's very sunny here.
It's so cool. Hi.
Almost. Yeah.
Let's see. Zarin and Dylan. How are you guys doing today? Good. So good.
At least we
Busting
get
out a
art.
heart.
Yeah.
Ziemeng.
These are all hard. I mean, you're doing a great job.
Hey, I'm trying. Nice. Thank you.
Ayaka. I'm just gonna keep saying names.
It's a good thing to do while we're waiting for a second.
Oh, it looks like she might be in a power outage. So probably what we should do is we should just keep going and we'll have her get it translated later. Darn it. Whew. What a bummer.
It's always a bummer. But don't worry, we see you. There's lots of names that I'm debating in my brain whether or not to pronounce a certain way. So we have this question of worth, and our value comes into life, and we wonder where we fit. We wonder how we fit. And whenever we start teaching anywhere, anything, the very first thing we want to do is take away that pressure. Nobody can really maximize a situation when they're trying to figure out what their value is. if they have any.
Hmm.
So we we do this by allowing the opportunity to discover how and what you like, right? So if you're in the basic class, what we're telling you is you're probably not going to nail every exercise. If you do, great. If you don't, great. You're learning, right? You're learning, and that's the point is you're choosing to take a step to learn something. If you find yourself more successful in one thing than another thing, that's not a bad thing. It could be a really great thing. You know, most of the time we're trying to roll back the pressure of what you should be to create value and let you know that you have value for who you are.
Already the way that you are without having to change everything. I mean, and it's good to surround yourself. Josh and I are completely different in a lot of areas and have similarities, but we complement each other and we recognize the things that each of us bring because we know our own value and we understand that those are the things that we should allow each other to do because we're great at it.
You in every moment you can do the best that you can do.
Yes.
And it's always the best that you can do. Like, even if it didn't have the result that you want, and you feel immediately afterward, I could do better. All right, you probably can do better because it's like the second time you're doing the same thing. You can probably do it better
Sure.
because you'll probably do it better the third time you do the same thing, right? If you're taking a test and you didn't know anything about that test the first time, and then you get to do it the second time, you have more information.
Or even when you teach a class the first time and you get to do it the second time, you're so much more fluent in it because you knew what you wanted to say. It may not have come across the right way, and then the next time you know where to make the differences. It's that's typical for everybody.
Yeah, of course you're going to do it better because you have more information. It's that way
Yeah.
in every moment. You get more information from experience. You get new opportunities and perspectives, and you get a chance to see things from that new information. But before you had that information, you were doing it perfectly in alignment with you.
Right. It's not about the comparison. It's really about bringing your own presence, the standards that you have, the presentation, the who you are, the essence of really yourself. And I think that that gets missed because it's there's so much comparison of what this person has or how this person is being opposed to what you think you don't have, rather than seeing all the amazing, incredible things that you already are.
I think that you can kind of see and understand a lot of things about yourself and what you're growing energetically and what's transpiring when you reach a level of kind of knowing that, right? You know what you can do, you know what you can bring to a moment, and then you're making the choice. You're actively making it. You're not trying to prove it to anybody or disprove it to anybody. So if somebody came up to you today and they said, hey, um, what is what is the wing speed of an African swallow? And if anybody has watched Monty Python at any point, you're going to laugh a little bit. But what is your response when you hear that? Even if it's translated, do you think, am I supposed to know that? What's the answer supposed to be? What am I supposed to say right now? If you said, I have no idea, I don't know, but somebody does, let me help you find that kind of person, or it's okay that I don't know. If you had the feeling and you didn't know the answer right away, but it was okay, then you're in good shape, right? You don't have to go give the answer to everybody else to prove your value, right? We're not out here every day. Mom's never been out here every day trying to prove value. In fact, we were talking just just a couple days ago
Mhm.
about, she was starting to teach classes and people paid her $15. $15 to come learn for 30 minutes at the very beginning. And from the very beginning, she always said to herself, well, I'm going to do this in a way that lets them know that they're getting value, that it was worth it. And it's still something she keeps in her mind when she goes up to teach, that when she's done, whoever's in there is going to know that it was worth it because she cares about what the energy and the vibration of the moment and what their needs are in their life. Not because it's for her value, but because she can see what value they need from a moment. When we say things like go up and turn over class to the seventh plane, that's what we're saying. It's not about your value. It's about
Mm.
knowing how to bring the value for everybody to get what they need in that time and place. Because when you know your own worth, you're not fighting for it. You don't have anything to prove. You don't have anything to try to show to the whole world, hey, this is why I'm great. So we get a whole bunch of young kids who say, I wanna be the one who has the ball in my hands all the time. And we ask them why. And they say, because they get the most attention, they get the most love. We say, well, that's not true.
Mhm.
That's not true at all. In fact, in many aspects,
Without the team, how is that person even going to be able to showcase or be able to work together to actually make scores?
they get a lot of accolades. But then we have another conversation. When they get those accolades, they get the pressure that comes with those accolades too. And then they get somebody else who wants that accolade for themselves. And then they have to work twice as hard just to keep it because someone else is working twice as hard because they want it. And it becomes a huge thing. Then we say something like, is that really the kind of pressure that you want? Because it works for them. They like that pressure. It motivates them. It lines up with them. They love that pressure. Do you like that pressure? Do you like the pressure of being pushed, of being in competition? And they say, no, 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 I don't. I like the pressure of just being a part of the team and kind of doing what I'd like to do and knowing I did something good. Then you say, hey, have you ever tried this other part of something?
Hmm.
And it's amazing how many athletes and how many people figure out where they fit based off of communicating the pressures that they like and don't like in this world. One of the things that we're most proud of our son for was saying he didn't want to be a manager.
Hmm.
They were having their first child, and he was offered a whole bunch of money to be the manager of this little place, grocery store in town.
Hmm.
And he started being a manager for about a week.
And realized that the pressure was way too great for him. That some of the responsibilities he did not want to have to deal with. He was just thought this is too much, and I want to do this over here. And he was able to voice it, and that takes guts. I mean, being really knowing your own value and recognizing who you are, because sometimes the pressure of appeasing somebody else, even a parent or your boss or other people around you, can overcome the things that you really want and understand in yourself.
The thing he didn't like was the fact that there was nobody else to call, right? So when somebody called into work sick or when there was a problem, there was nobody to call. There was nobody to say help. There was nothing to do except for answer for it. And every decision that he answered for was directly his. He couldn't deal with it
Yeah.
because it was a instead of a 40-hour week, I show up and go to work and then I go home and I get to play and have my space and grow. And him and his wife both love video games. They like playing them and having time. He wasn't being able to do that either. It was too much. So he said, that's not where my worth is. That's not what I love. That's not where I belong.
And some people absolutely thrive and love to be that type of person. And that's where they fit and it works out perfectly. So recognizing that that's you and you want that type of pressure, that's great. There are people that definitely do not. As long as you can voice that, that makes it so that it's you all fit.
Well, there was a thing from Raina showed this to me yesterday. This thing from Will Smith,
Yeah.
and he talked about how when we're at our lowest and we want to go up in life and we don't have anything, we're at rock bottom. And he talked about going up to the top. He's got fame, he's got money, he's got all of these things. And then what he called the cliff something.
He said it's basically like being at the bottom at the same time. It's like where you almost hit this cliff, like where you're like, okay, I'm about to go off the side here. What do I do? And you have everything. There's nothing that can fulfill you anymore because you're like, well, I've got everything. What possibly could fulfill me? And if you're not fulfilled in here inside, then you're constantly seeking outside. Is basically what he was saying.
Yeah, so he's at the very top, and he's basically saying, "Look, I'm at the top. I know I shouldn't be complaining, but I feel like, and I still have everything that was going on when I was at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
everything that was still energetically feeling off, everything that said, where do I belong and how do I belong? I didn't find it in all these levels of success defined by the world around me. You don't find those things until you start to define what you are in every moment, with or without it. There's not a gold medal, there's not a money in your bank account.
No.
There's not a single thing that anyone can give to you that says you have worth.
Only you can. It has to come from you. Has to.
Okay. When they give it to you, you can decide that it gave you worth, but that's your decision. It's not
Sure.
them giving you worth.
But you may not even be able to hear it if they do try to, if you don't have the worth already and recognize the value that you bring.
In every moment, you were meant to be in that moment. You've journeyed through all kinds of energetic creations that can be defined in all the different ways of beliefs, the ones that line up with you. However, it is, you're in this moment and you're connecting and you're creating and you're attracting. And most of the time, we're being pulled out of these moments from pressure that lets us not be there, right? Stress, worry, fear, resentment, all of those things create so much pressure that they take over a moment. And by the time we figure out who we are and what we want to do with it, we're way past the moment.
It's already passed us by. And that's a lot of the things that people will talk about when they're saying our manifestations, I can't seem to get them. I've been manifesting all these things. I know I'm so stressed out. I have so much anxiety. And I just can't see them. They're just not here. And that seems to be the problem, is that the pressure that they put themselves underneath to find it, to see it, to get it to right, and be just perfect. They just pass it right by because they're so busy. And just like Josh said, the moment has passed you by. And the door that was right wide open right next to you may not be there anymore.
So we feel manifestations around us all the time. We feel what's possible to create in the moment. And at the same time, our cells and our energy, we're so smart, we're so in tune that we know also what it takes to do so. And we make decisions about things like worth. Is it worth it? Am I worth it? And we do it on a subconscious level all the time. We let it go past. We don't always listen to what's going on around us fully. We don't know that we're belonging in the moment or that we have the tools. We look around and go, what is it? What is it I'm supposed to do? How am I supposed to be in this moment? What am I supposed to be in this moment? And then we start to turn our energy over to other things, right? And then that's where we start to build those different vibrations, those different battles of this is what caused it and this is what caused it. Because then we would rather blame.
Mm.
With hindsight, we would rather get stuck in the energy of blame than move forward. And it's become a cycle of the human alignment that has been thrown off. And it's something that we're pushing through as a whole, and we're moving forward in this world. You know, this is a great industry to be in. This is one of the fastest growing industries in the world all of a sudden. 30 years ago wasn't the case. Right? 30 years ago, we couldn't connect outside of our town basically. And yet mom sort of did. She ended up in Australia 3 years later, but it was a different process. Okay, you could make a post today and connect with somebody in a different corner of the world tomorrow.
So amazing.
Even though there's all these different things and all these different countries and all these different restrictions, there's still the ability to connect that way. There's still the ability to move forward and be a different kind of team. And what it is we've been shifting. So instead of being a small community, we're now a very, very large community.
Mm-hmm. And people are becoming open up to mindfulness, metaphysical. Everybody's seeing things in a different way, recognizing that really it all comes from the inside, and they can actually have control over that things that they have value on, which is themselves. And they can start to really make those changes that are significant because it's all about themselves, understanding, hey, this is me. I don't know why I'm looking outside myself for this value.
It's happening at the same time that social media is huge and all these things are huge. And I know there's a lot of people who are really frustrated and they're like, oh, there's so much fake stuff and there's so many things that you're being driven to.
Always.
But that's actually an opportunity, right? The opportunity is people are now looking for what's real.
Hmm. And
They
authentic.
want real. That's it. So somebody comes up to us the other day and they start asking like, what do I need to do to grow social media? What do I need to do something else? And the answer was, uh, just be true. Like don't spend 27 hours editing your video to make it what's not real. 27 hours making your video what's not real, you can tell. Like we can sit there and scroll through, the kids will be like, check this out. We can be like, that's fake. They'll be like, no, 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 it's real. We'll be like, no, it's fake. It's 27 hours of pitched together, five different things, right? Or the people who made the videos of like the amazing shot that bounced off 45 things. And then right after
Oh,
that, now they're posting the video of what it really took to make this video. And it's 40,000 hours of them attempting the same thing over and over.
just to finally get the basketball in the hole from way up here to down here, whatever.
We're growing into an age of transparency, right? We're growing into an age where we can
Yeah.
be true and we can connect with each other when we learn how to communicate. Okay. How we communicate in truth is a huge thing. Understanding our language, knowing how we're going to grow with what we speak. And what I mean by understanding our language is how you use that language to connect with people around you.
Yeah.
What you're saying, what you're doing, all of that has to do with your worth. You know, you walk into a room and you know who you are.
You don't need to say anything because guess what? The presence of you says it all. When you walk in, you know what people feel like. You can see them. We speak cells. Cells go out, they talk.
I'm gonna tell you guys a really funny story. When we walk into a room, we have to go talk to them because nobody comes to talk to us. Nobody walks up to talk to us in the room. And it could be very overwhelming. It can, because we think the first thoughts I thought, I'm like 20, 25 years old, and we're going around and nobody comes up to teach. You know what I thought? I thought, what's wrong with me? That's the first thing I thought. What's wrong with me? Because I'm very kind.
Mhm.
I was at the time teaching classes, I was telling people they can come up and say anything, right? But when you're sort of authentic and people know and see truth kind of emanating from you, they get a little intimidated in a good way. They get a little intimidated in a good way because they know that you figured some stuff out and they've kind of put you in a place where maybe they want to admire you, maybe they want to learn from you, maybe they want to do different things. And you've heard it be talked about. If you've taken any teacher's classes, you've heard them say, embrace the role of being an instructor. That's what it means. It means embrace the fact that they're going to put you in that place. And then they're going to get the courage to come talk to you. And when they get the courage to come talk to you, you got to recognize it's because they got the courage to come talk to you, the courage to take that step forward because they
Mhm.
put you in a place where they saw you as their teacher. That's not you walking into the room going, you guys are all beneath me. That's
No.
people walking into the room and going, I'm here to help. I love you all. I want to help grow in every way. And they can feel that. So they treat it as a gift. They treat it as something that they wonder if they're really ready for. There's a few great quotes about that. One of them being that our greatest fear is not that we're powerless, it's that we're powerful beyond measure. If you walk into a room and you shine a light so bright that shows people are powerful and happy and they can be something different, you're shaking their world a little bit.
Not because they don't like you, but because they want that too.
And when you're shaking it in a positive way, it's still making them kind of reflect and see that things are different than they thought. They don't have to be the same. Right? The best compliment, one of our favorite compliments is, uh, you're different than I thought you were, or I thought you would be. It's one of our favorite compliments. Because then people always try to explain what they mean by that. Like, it didn't mean that I didn't think that you weren't going to be good. It just means it's kind of funny to watch. But it's because you walk into a room and you show people what they can be just by being yourself. By picking up a piece of paper off the ground and going, hey, you dropped this. You show somebody who probably has had a million people walk by and never help them that somebody cares enough to help them. By smiling at somebody in the middle of a tough day and saying, hey, it's okay. You show somebody that they actually matter enough, that they're seen in a situation that they don't always feel seen. And all it took was the courage to say what you know
What you feel.
with a vibration of love, right? So you just look at them and go, it's going to be all right. We've made more people cry we've never even met just by looking at them and saying, hey, it's going to be all right.
Or you're doing amazing today.
Because in that moment, you know you're worth so much, you can see the worth of other people
Mm-hmm.
and you can see how to help them see it a little bit. And it doesn't come from here's your gold medal.
No.
It doesn't come from here's your pile of money. It doesn't come from here's the accolade of success. I cannot write a resume for the life of me. Somebody else has to write resumes. And if we're being really honest, most of the posts that say Josh is great, Josh has had nothing to do with. Because Josh doesn't like to say Josh is great. It's not that Josh doesn't think he's great. It's just, I don't like saying it. Raina's the same way. Raina doesn't write Raina's great. She'll walk over and say, can you write this? And I'll be like, yes, absolutely. Raina is the most amazing, magical person in the world. But the reason she doesn't want to say it isn't because she doesn't think she's great.
No.
It's because she doesn't want to say something that makes somebody else feel like she's saying she's greater than them. She doesn't want to say it. So we found a workaround because in this world, you have to say things to get yourself out there. You have to say nice things. For some of you, part of your knowing your worth is being able to say it. That's great. All of it boils down to knowing yourself and how to communicate yourself in every moment, right?
That it does.
Growing your families together, connecting with each other, knowing that you're important. Look, we read all your names and we want to say them all. We really
We
do.
really do.
Inside of our heart, you're like, look at the names.
We cannot read
through.
Japanese and Chinese. We
We're
love
trying.
you. We cannot do that yet. We're working about it.
And you put the little extra dots on names, and there's the extra. This is how you're supposed to say stuff. And then we've taken and started saying. So I thought it would be a really good idea to tell people how to switch in their own language in class once in Montana. And so I asked some of the translators to teach me how to tell them to switch because the translators were saying, oh, it's time to switch. And I was like, well, maybe the translators can have a break and maybe it would just be a nice way to kind of show everybody we really care about them. So I walked up to them and had them all start telling me how to say switch for 5 minutes. And then they started to tell us other parts of different languages.
Mm.
And so we know how to speak a little bit of lots of languages, which means we also know how important the pronunciation is of all the different sounds in different languages.
Right. So we don't want to botch it. We don't want your name to sound terrible. I have a name that's not Josh is really easy, but my name gets botched a lot and I understand it, but I never feel bad that someone does it. I'm just always grateful that, they've said my name. Thank you. That's great. How wonderful. We don't want you to ever feel that that's anything different than that. That's important. We want you to know that we care and appreciate you. Well, even if we botch your name.
We'll see. And the name thing is such a pressure for ourselves. And I know it's a pressure for other people too, right? But when we have that kind of pressure, we think about it. So when people come up and ask us a question like, what should I call you? My answer is actually whatever you want, as long as you do it the right way. You can say, hey, you, but if you do it with a positive vibration, I'm happy with that. Because I know we put a lot of emphasis on even meeting somebody brand new and needing to remember everything about them, show them that we liked it. And we just kind of create this extra pressure all the time. So knowing your worth is not living in that pressure all the time. You have all the tools you have. You might learn something new. Okay, you might learn that a different person likes you to say their name a different way, even if it's spelled the same way as another name. That's cool. Doesn't mean you got it wrong. It means what you knew before and what you know after are two different things. And they always are. We're creating and connecting and making pictures and growing in the reality of our existence, right? And then we're bridging that to connect to other realities. When we have alignment, everything flows in good ways. Our body works well, our spirit works well, our heart flows in the right direction, and we start to create very easily across all the definitions of what we can create. So I could keep talking for a while.
Well, yeah, definitely. This is a great subject.
Yeah.
Because we want you all to know how valuable you truly are. But we will give you some downloads really quick, if that's okay.
I thought we were doing a week-long class on worth. So I was already rolling into it, right? The vibration of worth and why it's important in the world.
Yes.
Created right now. You guys don't have anything else to do for a while, right? We're just going to stay here for the next week and get going. No, I'm joking. It was fun. So what are the downloads you want to give first?
Download that you recognize how truly valuable you are, that you can see your worth, that you can know that every moment is special, and that you bring that value to every moment, being your true authentic self.
But you can know and see your connection to the vibration of that word, what it means to you, know and understand what it means to other people, and how to integrate it into your life as a vibrational understanding of how you choose to use it, allowing others to choose to use it in their own right.
If you like those downloads, put your thumb up, nod your head, whatever. We'll get it to you. We very much appreciate all of you guys being here today. It's been so much fun. And thank you, interpreters, for always finding the right words and vibration to get it out there to all these beautiful people. Thank you so much. There will be replays. Yay! Have a fabulous evening, day, whatever it is. Bye, everybody.